In the ancient lands of Jerusalem, when Prophet Sulaiman, a.s., ruled with divine wisdom and unmatched authority, there existed beings hidden from human eyes, the jinn. Among them were believers and disbelievers, obedient and rebellious. It is in these unseen realms that one of the most mysterious and powerful stories unfolds, a true encounter between Prophet Sulaiman, a.s., and a rebellious force of jinn. Sulaiman, a.s., was not just a king, he was a prophet blessed with a unique miracle, the ability to control the wind, birds, animals, and the jinn. Allah granted him a kingdom no one before or after him would ever possess. This wasn't merely for power, but for justice and spreading the message of truth. One day, a disturbing event shook the kingdom. A group of jinn who were assigned tasks in the distant mountains had suddenly disappeared. These jinn had not returned for days, violating the command of Prophet Sulaiman, a.s. He immediately sensed something was wrong. He called a grand assembly of both men and jinn in his court. The wind blew gently as the creatures of different realms stood before the prophet. He asked sternly, "Who among you will bring me the truth of their betrayal?" A loyal jinn stepped forward and said, "O Prophet of Allah, I suspect they have been influenced by a powerful entity from the jinn world. One who refuses to bow to your authority." This wasn't the first time Sulaiman, a.s., had faced resistance. There were jinn who had hidden knowledge, who still held grudges from the time when Iblis himself refused to bow to Adam, a.s. But Sulaiman, a.s., was no ordinary man. With the command of Allah, he could speak the language of the jinn and control them with divine permission. The Prophet sent a group of strong believing jinn to retrieve the rebels. When they reached the mountains, they found signs of a dark ritual. Symbols that spoke of forbidden knowledge, blood offerings, and the name of an ancient jinn king, Ifrit al-Azam. Ifrits were among the most powerful jinn, fierce, fiery, and ancient. Even among the jinn, they were feared. The group of believing jinn were attacked with invisible forces. Many returned wounded, whispering about shadows that moved without light, voices that spoke without sound. Upon hearing this, Prophet Sulaiman, a.s., invoked the name of Allah and called for a special congregation. He recited verses of protection and instructed his people to fortify their hearts with faith. Then, with the command of Allah, he summoned the wind to take him to the mountain. As he stood there, silence enveloped the land. Then suddenly, the ground shook, and a voice echoed from deep within the earth. "O Sulaiman, your time here is not eternal. Leave us be, or face the wrath of the unseen." Prophet Sulaiman, a.s., calmly replied, "You are the disobedient ones. And by the command of Allah, I will not let corruption remain on this earth." With a wave of his hand, he commanded the earth to reveal the rebels. The mountain cracked, and jinn shrieked as they were dragged out by invisible chains. Among them was the dark Ifrit who had misled the others. The Ifrit, tall as a palm tree and made of blazing fire, laughed and said, "You may control us now, O Prophet, but your kind is weak. When you are gone, we shall rise again." Prophet Sulaiman, a.s., raised his staff and recited verses from the Zabur and prayed to Allah for guidance. The winds howled, and the fire around the Ifrit began to fade. With divine command, the jinn was sealed inside a mountain chamber, locked away until the day of judgment. But Prophet Sulaiman, as, knew that jinn were not all evil. There were many who believed in Allah, who performed good deeds, and who lived among humans unseen. He reminded his people, "Fear not the unseen, but fear disobedience to Allah." This true story reminds us that the jinn are a creation of Allah. Like us, they are tested, they have free will, and they too will be judged. Some jinn, upon hearing the Quran, embraced Islam. In Surah Al-Jinn, Allah says, "Say, O Muhammad, it has been revealed to me that a group of the jinn listened and said, 'Indeed, we have heard a wonderful recitation, the Quran. It guides to righteousness, and we have believed in it.'" Surah Al-Jinn, 72:1-2. The legacy of Prophet Sulaiman, a.s., lives on, a man who commanded the jinn with justice, who ruled with wisdom, and who reminded the world that even the unseen are under the authority of Allah. Even today, stories of jinn encounters continue, but none can compare to the day when Prophet Sulaiman, a.s., stood face to face with the ancient Ifrit and defeated him not with fire or sword, but with the divine power of faith, prayer, and obedience to Allah. So whenever you hear a strange sound in the silence of the night, or feel a chill with no wind, remember, the jinn exist. But with the remembrance of Allah, they hold no power over the believer.